We've got some questions from the Facebook community.
I saw some of those questions.
Yeah, some of them are pretty wacky, but that's our Facebook community. I figure we go ahead and start with the most important question first. First question comes from a Mr. Randy Duke, and he wants to know what kind of butt powder do you guys recommend?
Well, my butt is always beautifully soft and gorgeous, and I don't need anything.
That's awesome. So Randy's thinking about our butts. Do you know what? I've never used it. I've never used a butt powder. I've at no point have I ever used a butt powder. There's been a few solutions that come along the way. Right now, this is going to be a shameless plug. I'm really liking the Moto skivvies.
But hey, they work.
They do work.
Otherwise, we wouldn't use them.
Right. You heard it here first, folks. ADVMoto, Simon Lees Thomas, butt powderless.
Yeah.
Officially now, do not use butt powder.
Well, I mean, come on, think about it. We're on the bikes for 6 to 10 hours a day in pretty warm conditions. How much powder would you have to throw back there to get any traction? At the end of the week, you'd pull your pants down and this mess of white sludge.
This white cake.
I mean, that's just not a nice picture.
White cake of sweaty compressed powder. Drop out of your pants.
You're crossing the border into Colombia or Venezuela, and you get a body search. Sir, what's this? You won't believe it. It's just talcum powder. That's just going to have a bad ending. So no,
that's true.
It's Sean over at Moto Skivvies. He approached us a couple of years ago. I wasn't sold on the idea in a really big way. I tried them out and I went, why hasn't someone not done this before? Yeah, I like them.
All right. Well, the second question comes from a Mr. Chris Tuck. And he wants to know, what are the top 5 items that you guys cannot live without when you're on the road?
Well, obviously, Simon can't live without me.
Number 1.
That's it.
She has that written down in her hand.
Oh, don't look. Nothing.
Top 5.
Top 5.
Well, apart from the normal food and water and your motorbike, of course.
Stuff.
I don't know, a good tent. Our tent is a good tent.
Yeah, tent. At the end of the day, no matter how long you're traveling for, knowing that you've got somewhere that's warm, dry, and safe to get into every night. We've been using the Hilleberg Karen 4 GT. They do smaller ones, but that tent's been great for us. It's never let us down. It's taken a pounding for the weather. Today we actually get offered equipment to use, to review, to try, and we keep coming back to the Karen 4 because it does a great job. For me, I would say laptop and camera.
Yeah. I can live without my laptop, but of course we do a lot of social media, writing for magazines, and it's a way that we can, bring our photographs up into the social media side of things, and so it's essential.
Apparently.
It's essential.
So we've got tent, laptop, camera,
me.
What else that you can't live without?
Spices. I have to.
Cooking,
I have to have spices, and I like to be able to go and get all the local stuff, olive oil and spices, and I'm happy.
That's right. And you guys are working on a new book. Would you like to give us some kind of teaser information about that?
It's a different book to produce. First off, it's a cookbook. It's called Dirty Dining: An Adventurous Cookbook.
Okay, now please, just say on camera, what was it gonna be called?
I wanted to call it How to Make Nasty Shit Taste Nice. I thought it was a pretty snappy title.
That'll be a popular title.
I think so, yeah.
Right.
But the concept's really simple. Because one of the questions we get asked a lot about is, what do you guys eat? Soup and noodles. And you try and explain, well, no, it's been 13 years. You just can't live on soup and noodles. I love to eat. Lisa's a fantastic cook. And Lisa has this ability to take the most basic ingredients that you and I would go, okay, well, I'll make a sandwich, and she'll turn it into a gourmet meal with some really clever methodology, some very simple ingredients. So the book is, I think it's 26 recipes that we actually cook and use on the road. Each one has a story of when we've cooked it and some great imagery in terms of locations.
It's actually not country-specific foods.
So it's not a regional.
It's not a regional thing.
No.
It's
Best
just
of Africa kind of thing.
No, it's just basically a place of where I have cooked something. I remember it because of a circumstance or a visitor that we had who came along and joined us for the meal.
And it's not a gourmet cookbook. The idea isn't, we've been to these countries and these are the flavours, because there's a ton of those. This is a book that you could put on a phone, you could put on an app, or you could put in your kitchen, taking very simple ingredients and cooking them very quickly and very simply into something really worth eating. So for example, if you're on a motorcycle, if you're backpacking, you're not carrying cheeses and creams and dairy. So there's very little of that at all.
Which
It's
is
the
also
foods
very
that we eat.
healthy. Less dairy.
Oh, sure, yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Okay, so there's one more thing. I think that would be 4.
Oh,
Number 5 on your list of 5
Okay,
things.
it's going to sound horribly cliche, but the reality is, for me, it's Lisa. Actually, she's number 1.
oh
Yes,
for me
I know.
it's you.
She already said that.
I know.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
That was the first thing?
That was the first thing.
Yeah, that was the first
Because if it wasn't, I love traveling, but having Lisa, traveling with Lisa makes it real. It validates everything. Otherwise, after 13 years, you just drive yourself crazy.
Yeah, that could be a book, Traveling with Lisa. Next book.
That's a scary book. So what's the 5th thing?
5th thing. I think it's anything that will enable you to have a good night's rest.
Right.
Or just a better quality of life
Yeah.
whilst you're on the road. whether
Because
it's
if
for
you
6 months or
wake
6 years.
up in the morning and you're already completely worn out because you've not had a good night's sleep, that is when accidents happen, and that's when you really begin to go, what
That's not
the
true.
hell? Well,
I can
no,
have an
you-
accident
You can
at
have an
any
accident
time.
anywhere, just like that. Oh, I've just broken my leg. Look at that.
Or
Yeah. I think you've got
Looking
to,
and trying to keep a straight face and being all serious.
I think you've got to make
My
sure
serious
that
face.
anything you can do to ensure your quality of life on the road, and I think that's why we've enabled to stay on the road for so long, because I think we have a very, very high standard of living on the road.
We got some
Yeah.
really good gear.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And the last question from our Facebook community is from Brandon Lever, and this is, of course, the question with the least philosophical import, and that is the world a more dangerous place to be in than it was when you left, 14 years ago? And do you believe the media over or underplays the danger which is present in the world?
This is a fairly easy one to answer. I actually don't think it's any more dangerous today than it was when we started, but it's easily perceived that way because of the media, because of social media. We're able to access live feeds from
True.
war zones. We're able to
Immediately.
access live information far, far faster and more impactively than we were able to 15 years ago. And obviously, if you get shown something more frequently, more professionally, more powerfully, then you tend to believe, well, it's obviously happening more. It's not, it's just being reported by more people more frequently.
Just a small example of that, which is something that I always remember. We were in Iran, Tehran, during one of the times when the student riots flared up. And I managed to converse with my mother. Sometimes communications can be quite difficult to outside of Iran. And she said, oh my God, are you two all right? The news here, it's terrible. There's riots and there's bombs
The city's
going off
collapsing.
and there's guns, and I know you're in Tehran. Are you all right? Are you all right? And we went, we're fine. We're peaceful.
People are milling about,
Nothing's
going about
on."
their business, going to the supermarket,
And what it was
going to the
a
cafe.
small area
It was 2
of
streets.
disruption. That's all it was. And the news had portrayed it as like the whole of Tehran is on fire. Yeah,
But
we've
it's
had
not.
that a few times.
We've had that quite a few times where family and friends have been genuinely concerned because they've seen stuff going on. You know, this country's at war. Well, 9 times out of 10, it's a small minority who have money and guns who are looking to control the majority. Everybody else is just too busy keeping their heads
Yeah.
down, trying to take care of their family and
And
friends
do their daily work.
get through their day.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, obviously, there are some areas of the world where that's not the case.
No.
But what we have experienced, that's normal for us. What we have
The world,
experienced.
I mean, you'll hear this from any traveller you have in this room and you interview. The world is a far better, safer, more generous place than we're all led to believe. And as long as you've got a healthy dose of common sense and you're willing to interact with the world and not judge it, you're going to have a great time. And bad luck never has good timing.
It's opinions.
Wrong place, wrong time, it can happen.
Everyone's got opinions, and when you leave on a journey, you all have these set opinions. Obviously, you form them on what you see on TV, reading newspapers, etc. But I like to say, form your own opinion based on your own knowledge when you're out there on the road.
And be your own light.
Absolutely.
That's
I'll
right.
go with that.
Yeah.
And make it your own journey. At the end of the day, a life lived on your own terms is pretty special, and that's what we've been doing for 13 years.
The last question for the interview is Do you have any advice or words of wisdom to give people that are kind of getting ready to push off the dock and leave on their own adventure?
Mine's-
Be it
yeah.
great or small. Be it
Mine's
great or
simple.
small.
Set a date.
Set a date and stick to it.
It's so very, very easy to go, well, we're going to leave around here. When that around here date comes, well, we still need to do this, this and that, need to get more money, plan this. No, set a date, stick to it. You're never ready. You never feel ready. You just got to go, and things do sort out in the first few weeks
Yeah.
and months on the road.
It's simple. You're breathing in and out, you're twisting the throttle, you're heading towards the horizon, and you're just dealing with whatever comes your way on a daily basis. That really isn't any different to just everyday life. Best guess, push forwards, enjoy the moment, and take nothing for granted.
Right on. Excellent. Awesome, guys. For more of their stuff, you can visit 2RidetheWorld.com, and then your Facebook page is what?
ToRideTheWorld.com.
Facebook.com, 2RideTheWorld, Instagram, 2RideTheWorld. We're pretty much 2RideTheWorld on all the social media channels.
All right.
Come and say hello.
All right. Awesome. Thanks, guys, for stopping by today. Also showing at the rally and having a great talk.
It's been our pleasure.
Yeah, I hope everyone had a good time.
We did. It was great fun.
And we'll be hearing more from Simon and Lisa on ADVMoto before too long.